Toby.
Hey, welcome back to the show, episode 67. Welcome back to another week. Here we go, breaking it down. I do have a topic I want to speak on, which is a mother sues Facebook and Snapchat over 11-year-old daughter, ultimately taking her life. This is a Connecticut mother. She's suing now it's Meta and allegedly Snap. That they're suing now because, of course, Facebook changed their name for allegedly causing her daughter to develop an extreme addiction to social media before she eventually took her life. She became hooked on Instagram and Snapchat for several years before she took her life, according to the story of what I have here. A wrongful death lawsuit has been found saying that they did not give enough attention to defective design and negligence and reliable dangerous features that they have on Facebook, this in Instagram, because Facebook and Instagram are both this entity. They're both owned by the same person. If you didn't know, Facebook, Instagram own, same person. Same as WhatsApp as well. She alleges that she suffered from mental harm and led herself to physical injury from using the platforms, and they did not provide adequate safeguards from the harmful and exploitative content, which is what a lot of people say. If you guys are any in the know in relation when it comes to the thing with Kanye as well, the whole TikTok thing, everybody TikTok and social media, things of that nature. Of course, many lawsuits have been filed against Facebook. If you watch any of the court when they have to testify in front of Congress, Congress calls the CEO of Twitter. No wonder he stepped down. Facebook, Amazon Google calls them all to the table at least once a year to talk about what are we going to do to kind of, I guess, put some type of lockdown on regulations. Let's put it over. What are we going to do to put some regulations on Facebook, Twitter, and things of these nature when it comes to what they're putting out there, what they're giving away, how they're promoting things, how fast they're taking things down, how fast they're responding. All of these things matter because right now I lost an Instagram page and Instagram still hasn't got back to a couple of my questions that I asked because they really don't care. They just don't have a supportive team like that. So those are things that we have to see improvements on. What I want to say in regards to this situation, on one hand, of course, you have a parent who's dealing with a loss. Facebook, Instagram, these are things that everybody want to be on. TikTok, everybody want to be on. It's damn near a fight. That's what they said. They said the young girl was going to sporadic anger, when she was told that she couldn't be on these platforms. So you gotta think about that too. How addictive these things are. When we were younger, I don't think, well, honestly, Facebook, MySpace and all those things rolled out. I was already 13, 14 years old. So I wasn't as young as this young lady. We're saying 11. And I'm seeing that even 13 and 14 is around the legal age that you should be able to have a normal account. But before into that, they don't want you on there unless they have some form of kid version, which the kid version of Instagram and things have been shut down because every time they bring it up, it's like, what are we doing this for? Like, it's kind of like a feeling, what are we doing this for? They have a kids messenger and things like that is what they have, a kids messenger. So they're trying their best to implement their own to bring in that next generation of people, but they're having a hard time because everyone's saying, how are you going to do this effectively without causing people to want to harm themselves, without people being addicted? The scrolling tactic is a tactic that's known because it goes on forever and ever, and people just keep doing it. Of course, on the other hand, outside of taking some accountability on the parents, you have to also note, like I said, most of these platforms, 13 is what you're supposed to be on that. 13 years old, and you have to also know that you're the parent. If a kid who has no access to these things, it's a kid out there in the world who they don't have efficient. We think that everybody has internet. Everybody doesn't have internet in the world. So there's kids out there who don't even have access to Instagram and Facebook and things of that nature. So they can't have a problem with these things because they don't have access to them. So these things can't develop. And you also, as a parent, have to step in and say, hey, speaking of that to the Kanye thing, and him and Kim, you have to some if you have an issue or some type of problem, you guys need to talk about it and develop some form of safeguard on what y'all want to do as far as the plan. Even with mine, like you have to say, hey, I'm kind of cool with that, and then other times you're like, no, I'm not. It's up to you. It's your discretion. They have different versions of parent supervision that you have when it comes to these different issues. No child should be on these apps being bullied or seeing content that really is not for them. There are definitely algorithms. The same way you can make algorithms to make a ad about power, and then someone who related a person that was a character on power, an ad for them come right after. The same way that you can do that, I know that you got the power to make it right and safe, for people to be on there and things that they're not supposed to see. You can 100% prevent that. They said that Instagram and Facebook have algorithms that are triggered to make you addicted. That's what people are saying. I want to know your thoughts. What are your thoughts on, number one, social media and its effect on younger children? What's a good age? What's a bad age? And also, what do you think is the accountability on the other end? Like, hey, yes, these platforms exist, but they only exist because we're allowing them to exist. What do we do as parents? You completely block it out. We used to have video games. They used to say, yo, you on that game too much. Get up and go outside. Go do something else. So this is the future version of go do something else. What's going to be that something else? It's the N.y.a Show, episode 67. I'll see y'all next week.